based in Dallas, Texas. She's worked with Nando for over 20 years and has come to know him well, and she's agreed to give us the story about how she and Nando got together. So at this point, again, enjoy the evening. I know it'll be special, but please help me welcome Gail to the stage.
Hello, everyone. What an incredible venue. We are so excited to be here. We are blown away with the response and the enthusiasm from everyone in this community, as well as beyond. We are told that there are people here tonight from over 15 states, British Columbia, and Switzerland, I know for sure. I have been working with Nando, as Robin said, for almost a little over 20 years. And I am responsible for booking his speeches all over the world. And those speeches are private. And the only way that you can attend those would be if you were a member of a certain company or a member of an organization or an association. And I'm often asked, where can I hear Nando? And in the 20 years that we have been working together, it's only happened twice. And tonight is one of those nights. Where tickets are made available to the general public and anyone can hear them. So you are in for a very unique and special treat tonight. The first time that it happened was here in Lake Tahoe in 2007. So in some ways, Nando and I feel like we're home tonight. There is a difference, and tonight we have Nando's beautiful wife, Veronique, with us. We also have social media, and Nando has a Facebook page. So once we started promoting this event, we were just blown away with the stories. And the stories are too many to share all of them, but I would like to give you just a sense of the effort that some of the people made to be here tonight. If I mention your name and you feel like standing up, you're more than welcome to. Ray Weber. Ray is here from San Diego. Ray first read alive in 1974 when he was 20 years old. He was playing soccer at the University of Tampa. And I know he jumped at the chance to be here tonight. He brought his original version of Alive with him. He also brought his longtime girlfriend Carol and his good friend Dave. We're thrilled they're here. I didn't get a chance to meet Laylee Angela. I hope she's here. Laylee, are you here? I don't know. I know she's originally from Peru. Is she standing up? Hey girl, how are you? Bienvenidos. So she's originally from Peru, and she has read Alive in Spanish and in English. And in 1998, she moved to Pollock Pines, which is just 45 minutes down the road. And she, I know, says this story has influenced her since she was a young girl. So we're glad you're here. Bob Moretti, I saw Bob. Bob's right here. Bob is from Los Angeles. He's been a fan of the story since he was 10. And in January, he will be traveling to Argentina to visit the actual glacier. And I know Megan. Hey, there's Megan. Megan's going to the site in January as well. And I know Bob's sister, Laura, is also here. Clayton Alston is a very special guest who's hearing impaired, and he has a sign language interpreter with him here tonight. Clayton's a very, very special person. I had an opportunity to visit with him and his friend Dave, and he has made a model, a scale of the fuselage for the museum in Montevideo, and I overheard Nando say that he is dedicating tonight's presentation to him. Is Corey Nevis here? All right, Corey. Corey is here with his father, Alexis. Alexis is originally from Panama. And Corey wrote to us early on saying that Nando was his father's hero. And that while he was growing up, his dad never missed an opportunity to talk to him about the courage and bravery of the men in the Andes, especially Nando. So he's here tonight as a gift from his son, and they came from Salt Lake City, Utah. Garnetta Bell reached out to my office back in 2011, and she said, "Where can I go hear Nando?" And we said, "You missed it. It was in 2007 in Tahoe." But then she was savvy. She was on Facebook, and she saw this, and not only is she here from Charlotte, North Carolina tonight, but she also is a sponsor of the event. Thank you, Garnetta. Jamie Swallowell is here from Vancouver. Jamie has been waiting 29 years to hear Nando speak. Her mother took her to see the movie Alive when she was 11, and she says meeting and hearing Nando is an absolute dream come true. We're glad you're here. Okay, one more. Daniel Umali. Daniel's story is awesome. It just talks about how this impacts and snowballs, if you pardon the pun. So when Daniel saw that Nando was going to be here, he went online and he bought 4 tickets, one for his fiance, himself, and some friends. Well, then he called his sister, Nicolette, who lives in Switzerland, and she was the first person to read Miracle in the Andes, and she said, "Well, why don't I come and bring my 2 kids?" And then the mom and dad heard about it and said, "No, well, wait, we're coming." And then I think there's 6 kids, and 5 of the 6 are here, and the grandkids, so there's a loud Italian family. Stand up. As I said, I know there are more. We met some women who drove all the way from Texas, and I know all of you have stories, and I'm sorry that we can't share all of them. But I wanted to highlight a few so you could see that common thread of how people all over this world have been inspired by this story and the sheer determination that these people have to be here tonight. And I too have a Nando Parrado story. In 1994, I was working for a company in Dallas called EBS. It was a company that Ross Perot founded. And I was responsible for planning the sales incentive trip. You've probably heard of those, Inner Circle, the President's Club, things like that. The chairman of the company issued me a challenge to find a speaker that was new and different. Someone that everyone would want to hear, but no one had heard. And someone who was global in their appeal. Well, completely unrelated, I rented the VHS tape of Alive. And the person I was watching it with knew about the challenge. So early in the movie, like 10 minutes in, this person said, "What about that guy for your meeting?" And I said, "Ethan Hawke?" He was like, "No, not Ethan Hawke, the real guy." And I thought, what do you know? But by the end of the movie, I thought it was the best idea I'd ever heard, and I claimed it as my own. That was 1994. If anyone can remember 1994, there was no Google. So if you wanted to find a speaker, you had to go to a speaker's agency. I called every speaker's agency there was, and they kept telling me, "Gail, this is a bad idea. You don't know this guy, he's not on the speaking circuit, we don't know what his accent will be like. Just because there's been a movie made about someone doesn't make them a good speaker. Just because there's been a book written about someone doesn't make them a good speaker." And so they really discouraged me. And those were all valid points, but I knew from an interview that I had seen with Nando that I had no concerns. So I mentioned to the chairman of the company my idea, and he loved it, but I still couldn't find Nando. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find him. It was July, it was my son Luke's birthday, and my father was in town from Oklahoma. And I had rented the movie Alive, and I was studying the credits at the end of the film. And I knew Nando was the technical advisor. So I had this idea that maybe I would go to Los Angeles and I would meet somebody who would introduce me to somebody, and I'd get to Kathleen Kennedy and Frank Marshall, and they would introduce me to Nando. When my father walked into the room, my dad is from Altus, Oklahoma, population 25,000. And he asked me what I was doing. I told him, and he said, well, now, weren't those boys from Uruguay? Yes. Soccer players, right? No, Dad, rugby. Well, I know the ambassador from Uruguay. What an idea. Monday morning, I called the Uruguayan embassy in Washington, D.C. I was speaking so fast, and I asked for Nando's number. I called the number, it was the wrong number. I called back and I said, I've got to find Nando Parrado. And they go, who are you looking for? And I go, the guy from the Andes. And they go, oh, you mean Nando Parrado, 2 R's. They said, no way. Oprah wants his phone number, Barbara Walters wants his phone number, no way. And that wasn't the answer I was looking for, so I just sat there. And then finally they said, well, he has a television show that airs on Channel 12 in Montevideo. And I asked, does Channel 12 have a phone number? So, after a series of phone calls, Nando finally answered the phone. And when he did, I had no idea what I was going to say. I had been searching for him since February, and now I had him on the... So I remember thinking in my mind I needed to establish credibility. So I'm trying to explain in Spanish, buenos dias, me llamo Gail Davis de ALS. And he's like, hold on, I went to high school in Ann Arbor, Michigan, we can speak English. So I made my request, and he immediately told me no. He said, I have absolutely no desire to be a speaker. My mother died in the accident, my sister, my best friends. It was the worst 72 days of my life. I have no desire to be a speaker. I had seen an interview, and I knew he didn't like to be called a hero. So I said, I want you to come and speak, not because I think you're a hero, but because I think your story can offer hope to others. And I think he kind of liked that. So he said he would think about it. I then proceeded to send him the book that Kim Follett wrote about Ross Perot rescuing the employees in Tehran. I sent him an annual report. I stayed in touch with him. Initially, he said there was a 20% chance he would do it. Then we got up to about 40% when he heard it was in Maui. And then in December, when it was time to print the brochure, I said, where are we? And he goes, about 90%. And I said, well, I'm going to live on the edge. I'm putting your bio and your photo in the brochure. In February, he faxed me his travel plans with a 97% on it. And then when he got off the plane with Veronique, he had a little sign and it said 100%. And let me tell you, what he did that day in Maui was beyond 110%. And I remember the chairman of the company looking at me and saying, kid, you should retire. I was only 40. And he said, you really, no, I wasn't 40, because then I would be 62. No. I was younger than that. He said, you should retire, because you'll never outdo this. Then I took my entire family to Uruguay. Nando and I became friends. And in 1999, I made the decision to leave a 20-year career with the company and start my own business. I started it out of my house, and I had one speaker, Nando Parrado. So a lot has changed since then, and the company has really grown, and we've booked a lot of speaking engagements all over the world. Sometimes our clients become our friends. Not always, but sometimes they do. And one of those instances is Elise Good, who you met. Elise was the first person to take a big chance on Nando for a big human resource conference in Fort Worth in 2000, thank you. And after the success of that conference, she got it in her mind that she wanted Nando to speak in a setting that would be open to the general public in the most beautiful place on earth. And to Elise, the most beautiful place on earth, and I have to agree, is Lake Tahoe. She brought him here. She brought him here in 2007, and he spoke at the Hyatt. And immediately, people started following up with her, saying, "When can you bring Nando back?" And so we're just thrilled that we're here tonight, and that the focus is on Tahoe Family Solutions. We support their efforts, and we're really thrilled. And we're thrilled with this venue. Special thanks to Bob Taylor and all of the volunteers and staff at Shakespeare for taking a risk to do something that's so different. Okay, that's the background. So there are many ways that I could introduce Nando to you. I could tell you about all of his successful businesses. I could describe to you his beautiful family and his country, which I've been privileged to meet and know. We could talk about his success as a New York Times best-selling author, first time debuted as number 10 on the list. We could talk about the History Channel documentary, but what I think I would rather do is take advantage of the fact that we are in this beautiful place, surrounded by mountains, much like Nando was 43 years ago. There are some differences, of course. I want each of you to imagine your life just as it is right now. Maybe you're on vacation, or maybe you're enjoying a long holiday weekend with friends, or maybe just being with your family. Nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. And you decide to take a weekend trip with friends and family. It's a trip that you've taken before. You pack, you meet at the airport, and you board the plane. Nothing out of the ordinary. You're in the plane, having a great time, and you know that soon you will be at your destination. This has to be easy to imagine because it's so ordinary. Well, the man that you are about to meet was in that very same situation 43 years ago. But what happened on that plane and the 71 days that followed is anything but ordinary. As a matter of fact, the man you are about to meet is extraordinary. Please welcome Nando Parrado.